Someone told us about Marquise. And the amazing work that Marquise was doing around social justice, and the amazing work that he was doing with youth already, and I didn't even know Marquise. A couple of proposals came in, Marquise's rose to the top. And since that day, 2 years ago, I think, when the stars align, have you ever heard of that? When you want something and it just happens, like when you want a really good, like, plátano, you want something that you really want, you're hungry, right? And you go to the bodega, you have this plátano in your head, and you get there and it tastes exactly like you want it. That's exactly what happened. We partnered with the best person we could partner with. Yes. And I am so proud and so happy. And I look back, I have to step back, because now we have somebody who's doing the work, right? The day-to-day work. But it makes it the most valuable to me, because when I come here and I see you and see new faces and see the work you do, and I see that you're going, that I can facilitate, we can facilitate you traveling to Washington, D.C., to tell Washington, D.C. what your concerns are about education, to show your video, to get press, to sing, to do your poetry. I mean, to me, that it just gives me goosebumps. And to me, it means that this needed to happen. You always hear it. You're the second, you're the next generation. You're it. We're not kidding. And everywhere I go, I say, where's the youth voice? Where's the youth voice? Where are they? Last night I was here trying to do a planned placemaking. I'm like, yeah, you can do downtown, you can do, where's the youth? Where are the artists? You're missing the point. And so take this as a privilege. You apply, yes, but you are appointed as a youth council member. Appointed. Which means you were selected for a reason. And you're here to carry a very big weight on your shoulders. Yeah, you hang out, you do all these fun things, but we're looking to you. When issues come up, we're going to look to you to say, okay, where's the youth council? Let's get them ready. Let's get them in front of city council. Let's get them in front of whoever it is that you need to go in front of, right? To do it. And you're representing the young community we have, which is about 38%. So you have a big job on your shoulders. I hope you take that, you own it, you really value this privilege that you have been given, and that you use it for something good, and you use it for bigger and better things. And I hope that, you know what it is, Elisa Salas, now member of the school committee, Frank Acosta ran for city councilor. I have never seen that before here, me personally. So you have so much power. Now get educated. Get the skills that you need, advocate, and do it, because this is your job. We're done pretty soon. You have to carry on the baton. So remember that. So when I went before Mayor Rivera, I spoke to him, talked to him about this. He loved the idea. He thought it was amazing. You know how he feels about youth and youth leadership. And so that's the other thing, we have his backing, and the backing of the city council. Mark LaPan is here. Have questions, go ask him questions. Ask him questions about what does it mean to be sitting in the city council? What do you do? How do you run a meeting? How crazy is it? How often do you go? Those are the questions you need to ask, those who have aspirations in politics, all right? So I'll leave you with that. I thank you for your time. I thank you for your commitment and your passion. And I hope that you really, truly reflect on this very privilege that you've been given, all right? Thank you so very much.
So, when you guys hosted the school committee panel discussion the other night, we started talking, Lou and I, about the good old days, when this was all just a concept. And I see Enrique walking in tonight, and I want to say thank you so much for being here. Enrique was one of our first LYC members, and he's always been back to support the rest of you. As I was saying, so Enrique sat with us through the grinding times when we were putting this together and what it could possibly look like and what we were hoping this would be. And it's always good to see the old members come back to support the new members. So has Celeste, she was amongst the foundational members. So that's always a good thing. What I'm gonna do right now, I'm gonna ask Hiren and Daniela to come up and talk to us about what they've been doing, where they are, where they've been, where they are right now, and where they're hoping to go. All right? So Daniela and Hiren, the floor is yours.
Hi. Oh, okay. Okay. All right, hi. We are the Lawrence Youth Council. And, well, first of all, I'm Hiren, this is Daniela. And what we are is basically a youth-led organization that pretty much is involved with the city in making choices and with the Lawrence public school system as well. We're like very involved with everything. We're trying to make a change in our community and really implement youth voice. So, yeah, that's who we are. Oh, we range from freshman to senior year. And we pretty much create a voice for all those younger and for those in the present right now. So the LYC mission has been centered around solving issues with the city and the community. We've picked different topics. I know I came last year. So we've been working on education in the Lawrence Public School System. And before that, they would focus on things like, drug use and teen pregnancy, but it always came down to education and what we can do to better it. So, yep.
Okay. The What is Education campaign began in 2015. We collected over 400 surveys from the youth in Lawrence, and basically they told us through the surveys that they were bored with what was happening within their education system and that they didn't feel supported by everything that was going on and that they wanted that kind of support in it. Then flash forward to 2016, we had a film that was made called What is Education was the first one, and we premiered it at the Lawrence Public Library, not at the Lawrence Public Library, my bad. Not there, but we premiered it, and yeah. Let's see. The creation of the short film also led to our Youth Bill of Rights, which we plan to have put in the Lawrence Public School System. And now, if we're going to talk about the Youth Bill of Rights, I'd like to invite my friend James Mora up to the stage. Okay, James.
Hello, everyone. I'm James Mora. At the LYC, we've been doing a lot of work around this Youth Bill of Rights. The first one is we believe that students' needs come first. Youth voices are the basis for all school decisions that affect them. Youth leadership teams are created at each public middle and high school in the city, meet on a monthly basis, and lead organizing efforts for school improvements as need arises. 2. Students are liberated through their creations. Schools will use a curriculum promoting cultural heritage and true critical thinking through creativity and imagination. 3. Students' vision is developed with and through their communities. School leaders provide consistent accountability, equity, and transparency to all members of the community. Students also have more opportunities to find out what they like and what they're good at during the school day through increased mentorships, place-based learning, and student-led learning. 4. Students' healthy growth is ensured. Schools provide nutritional menu options and healthy eating initiatives, along with resources and information to foster healthy student growth on all levels, physical, emotional, and mental. Thank you.
All right, so to go along with with the Bill of Rights, we had last year a film called Liberation Through Creation, which basically showed contrasts of oppression in the schools and then what it could be as in the freedom. We used that and we kind of showed that to show that creativity within a school system can lead to students' freedom and lead to them really enjoying everything that's going on within their school day.
Oh, in DC. So what happened at DC? There was a select few from the OIC that went to DC to talk to basically just the Department of Education. And we were getting pointers on how we can improve the Bill of Rights, how we will go about it, just basically getting pointers and seeing if we can make some allies out of them with helping them make the process easier, with implementing the Bill of Rights in the school system here in Lawrence Public Schools, and probably seeing if we can help out in other areas as well. So that's pretty much what went down at DC. And we had an art show, and we had people, we were just showcasing our art, and we did poetry and sang songs. It was great.
and selves we ought to be, liberated through creation.
So my corn no longer sweet, skin not so ripe, flesh all bruised. Pluck me and leave me rootless until I pledge allegiance to the best thing that's ever happened to me. You forced enemies on cobblestone streets made from forced labor and call that salvation. America, you saved me. Save me from my own death. It's no longer in my hands, but in the hands of your police and government and produce. I taste over-processed, taste budget cuts, taste current education system. I see slavery found a new shape. I see color. I see more specifically the lack thereof. I see classrooms full of students who don't look like they do. I see that I'm alone. I feel unwelcomed. I feel like I don't belong. I feel anger that travels beyond this earth. Feel the boiling in my belly, the one that they try so desperately to keep hidden from me. They tell me that I've always been nothing but American. I see color. I hear them tell me American history, my history. I hear them covered in tracks and reverberations that money has any value beyond this earth. I hear peace beyond the steam of this melting pot. I see color. My brother always told me that life is truly a process. But who would have known that you would be at the forefront of progress?
Students to take these tests, and yes, they're getting great numbers because they're learning about when they're outside of the school and they're outside of life where everything that they're going are small
used to be like that, or why you not sit back in class and not have to graduate. We don't need somebody that's gonna teach anyone about education. Absolutely, I'm not right. But I think one of the benefits about living in Lawrence is that because we're such a tight-knit community, once people get to know about it, once parents are educated, everyone knows it. Everyone is willing to speak up about this and help one another. Oh, I made you uncomfortable? Good, that's my job. I mean, like, it's not like my job to make you feel comfortable or like, I just want to make you aware. If it makes you uncomfortable, good, what do you do about it? Like, this is what we're doing about it.
To kind of see what their reaction to it was, as well as we hosted our own town hall meeting to ask questions that were relevant to the Bill of Rights to the potential school committee members. You want to speak more on that, Irene? Yeah, girl.
All right. Basically, we're just hearing out from each school committee member that was running, and we gave them a time limit on speaking because we weren't up to hear everything else but the question. So we were just there to get answers. You can kind of tell that they were uncomfortable that we were running it, which is great. What else? We got our answers. I don't know. Like, it was just the type of experience that you had to be there to really understand. The feeling in the room, just the vibe that everybody was giving off to each member. It was really good feedback to know who messed with who and what everybody was really about. Because you can tell there were certain people that weren't about what they were saying. And then, there was others that were really proving it, like Alyssa, like, God bless her soul. So she was really, like, about that walk. She was really about the youth, and that's the most important thing to be when you're a school committee member. Like, you need to be about the youth because they're up and coming. So that was pretty much how it went. Pretty smooth.
So, after the whole school committee and the conference, one of the key parts to all these events we've been doing is getting the public's output on the Bill of Rights and what they think. And now that, after we revised it, making it clear so that both high schooler and middle schoolers can understand and interpret the Bill of Rights correctly, and now that we get output from school committee members on what their thoughts are on it and what should be taking steps next, I think now their next step would be to start implementing it, start pushing for it to be recognized by the public school in Lawrence, how it is very important, how clearly we have evidence of how this is something that is very interesting and that most likely will help us improve the public system rather than, diminish it. And I know we had other projects also interested, like the public transportation, fixing the bus system, making so people are it's easier access for people in Lawrence to understand where to go and what to do. I'm also interested in, making a place for youth to go to at the school. Boys and Girls Club that costs money. People don't have money to do that. Lawrence, the YMC. The YMCA, that costs money. People can't do it all the time. And what else do they do? They're going to be on the streets, and that's not always the best situation for most times. So I want to try, find a way so we have a place for youth to go that won't cost money, like, something like Etaje. It's a nice little restaurant, but it can't hold all of the youth in Lawrence. So I want to try and find a way to implement that. And that's all I have so far.
So as the 21st member of the Lawrence Youth Council, it is my job tonight to do all of the thank yous, and you notice I've been saying thank you right throughout the program because there is so much that we have to be grateful for. And just not to minimize the gratitude that we feel, I have to give a shout out to my friend over there in the back, Ms. Janeda Pineda, because she is one of those very foundational folks. When we were ripping her hair out and not knowing what to do, she was right there with us and Lou Bernieri trying to keep us all grounded and get this thing moving. So thank you so much, Janeda. Thank you for your continuous support. Thank you for being so positive and supportive of the youth of Lawrence. Celeste is going to come up now and give us a brief introduction of our speaker, Mrs. Glennis Sanchez.
Yay. Okay, cool. I'm gonna stand behind here just to feel a bit more comfortable. But yeah, cool. So I'm Celeste Cruz, and it was kind of like sprung on me to introduce Glenys, but I'm actually very happy that I was chosen out of everyone else in the group, to be honest, because I connected with Glenys personally this summer because I was the intern for the Bread and Roses Festival, which she's the president of, and I feel like I learned a lot with her through that. One, because I've always admired youth throughout the community, and getting to see her be active and try to empower the youth and empower the community, I always looked up to that. And seeing a community member push forward with everything was inspiring to me. So I'm gonna read a little bio. Glenys Sanchez is a Dominican activist, education professional, researcher, and mentor. Sanchez has devoted her professional career and personal journey to integrating the voices and participation of historically marginalized communities in different spaces, ranging from nonprofit leadership, higher education, to community engagement research. In her adopted home of Lawrence, Massachusetts, Sanchez has infused her roles with a commitment to justice and empowerment, which is why the Lawrence Youth Council is honored to have you here as our guest speaker. So thank you.
Does this mic actually work? Okay. So I actually like to be mic'd so that you can listen to me. So first I want to say thank you. I feel so honored and humble that you invited me as your guest speaker tonight. I am very excited about the work that you are doing. I wish that when I was younger too, I had a support system and I had a lot of other like-minded individuals to just run ideas through. So this is really a unique opportunity in the city. Lately I've been thinking a lot about this lesson that I've been learning is that the trick is in the how, and I'm excited where you're going with the Bill of Rights from here, but I'm actually more excited about how you're actually going to do it. So I want to do something a little bit different tonight. I'm kind of parting away from the speeches because I want to anchor my time with you tonight in the idea of the power of your stories. And stories are very powerful, and many times they are the only evidence that we actually have. So in my research world, as a researcher in education, we're always looking for data. We're always looking for numbers and attendance and grades. And if there's one thing I want you to remember from tonight is that your stories are evidence. And as you conduct research in your projects and as you move forward in the next year, qualitative data is also important. So your stories are very powerful. And I want to read a piece from, because I want to tell you a little bit more of my story. I know you got my bio, but I want to tell you the story in between the lines of my bio, which is actually more powerful than what you read. So I will read a piece that I wrote at Andover Bread Loaf. So I had the privilege of spending a wonderful time in the summer as part of the teacher network at Andover Bread Loaf. And if I can find my poem is titled 121 Union Street between Brook Street and Haver Street. Does anyone know exactly where that is? Okay. So hopefully you can close your eyes and see yourself there. 4 stories tall, 16 families, thousands of dreams, millions of work hours logged. La vecindad del Chavo of brick walls, long halls, green smell of chemicals ready to kill cucarachas, smell of heat-up lunches marching to La Factoria, smell of dreams of a better tomorrow, messages on the walls written in invisible ink of reds and purples. I'm here until I buy my house. I will be the first one in my family to graduate from college. I will get a job with health insurance and sick days. We want bread and roses. We want bread and roses too. 121 Union Street, right across from the community garden. The last round of cilantro and peppers came with a note. The soil is lead poison. In our journey of struggles and joys, our men bonded over dominoes, witnessed by the friendly community police officer who was hired to be our friend and to keep us safe. He promised not to snitch on my papi when he was drinking a beer. Hot, muggy summer day, but he still managed to follow me around the block as if he was waiting for my registration to expire to find a good reason to stop me, with the ultimate goal of making conversation. 121 Union Street between Brook and Haver Street. Your brick walls are adorned with the color of persistence. This is a declaration of gratitude for the thickness and complexity you added to my soul and my skin. So 121 Union Street between Brook Street and Haver Street, that's where I spent a lot of my time when I moved to Lawrence when I was 16. So my mom had moved to Lawrence looking for better opportunities. So my immigrant story is the story of many of you and many of your parents and many of your grandparents. And when I arrived to Lawrence, I thought I just could go to BU or BC and just graduate from a top college. But my English was not very good looking, como dice Celia. So I started in a transition to college program at Northern Essex Community College, and by 18, I was the youngest graduate of the community college. And I was internalizing like that, overachiever, immigrant story, like poster child. You'll probably find pictures of myself at Northern Essex still. But I was struggling to find my voice, and I was struggling when I went to UMass Boston on a scholarship. Sometimes it was shameful to say I was from Lawrence, but I was still committed to come back to the city and give back, and I think that was the only vision I had at the moment, of giving back without much context. And I came back and worked at Northern Essex for many years in community relations and also mentoring other Latino students. And as I mentored them, I saw that they wanted a space to talk about the struggles that they had non-academic, like outside of classroom. And we did this like weekly check-ins where we talked about why are students like not graduating? Why they're not completing? Why do we have so many Latino students coming through the door but not completing? So for many people think like that's where my social justice warrior was born, but I was always a warrior. Because our stories and our struggles and even our bodies are political statements, and we take that with us. So for me, the difference was that at some point I became conscious, and I started putting tags to the things that were the stories of many people, like gentrification. Bilma talked about health disparities. I couldn't say those things at the moment, but I was living through them. And my family, my neighbors, my friends were living through them. So when you see my bio now, my inspiration is the struggle of my community and also the victories of my community. So as you go ahead in the next year, I hope that you remember that our stories are very powerful, and you take that with you, and that whenever you doubt if you're not making the right decision, you go right back and listen to our stories and take that with you. So I'm very excited for all the work. I extend my my arms so that you, in the future, you can come back to me and we can work together as you continue to do this work. So that's why I'm not talking more about my work that I do now, because I want to continue working with you. So this will not be the last time. Thank you.
Thank you, Glennis, for your inspirational talk. And we have a group back home in Jamaica that's called the I Trees. And one of their many songs, Many Are Called, the first few lines says, many are called, few are chosen. You have to be ready when you are called. And so that's what I'm throwing out to all of you. When you're called, you have been called, you're answering the call, you have to stay fresh, you have to stay strong, you have to stay informed. And when you're called, because you're not always gonna be given a number to stand in line, you have to be ready to talk about your peers, to talk about what you do, and to be strong, and to show that you know what you're saying, as you have proven time and time again. So thank you so much, LYC, as I say, Lawrence Youth Counselors. I like to say that. So before we move on, I have to apologize for Council President Kendris Vasquez. He is not well. He is battling the flu, and so we are not able to have him with us tonight. But I am going to call upon Councillor LaPlante to come up and to lead the oath of office for us. Do you have that? No. Okay. To lead the oath of office for us. But before Councillor LaPlante comes up, I wanted to just take a moment, because I've been to a few city council meetings, and Councillor LaPlante has over the years really given light to some of the successes of the youth in the community, and that is very commendable. I really appreciate that, Councillor LaPlante, that you take the time out to really be there and to acknowledge that these kids are doing well. And I thank you so much on behalf of the youth of Lawrence. So if you don't mind, Councillor LaPlante, if you could come up and lead the kids in the oath of office that we have written here.
So before he goes to the oath of office, he was a leader that was just called upon to do this, and he got out. So when you guys said, this was just sprung on me, that's life. A leader has to be ready on their toes, on their feet, and just represent. So there you go.
So I'm going to invite you all to stand. Lawrence Youth Counselors, please stand.
The right hand up. Just read this, okay? So repeat after me?
Yes.
Okay. Hello, Youth City Councilors, and congratulations. So I'll ask you to raise your right hand up, please, and repeat after me. We, the members of the Mayor's Health Task Force Lawrence Youth Council,
We, the members of the Mayor's Youth Health Task Force Lawrence Youth Council,
do solemnly swear to observe and obey the laws and ordinances of the City of Lawrence, Massachusetts, that we will uphold, support, and defend the mission of the Council and the Mayor's Health Task Force, that we will faithfully perform and carry out the duties as obligatory on us as members obligatory on us as members of the Mayor's Health Task Force Lawrence Youth Council. Fairly, honestly, and to the best of our abilities. To promote social justice and health equity. So help us God. Congratulations.
Thanks, man.
You're welcome.
So we're gonna do, okay guys, so what we're gonna do now is we're gonna be presenting the certificates. So Marquise will be calling the names, and I'll just hand the certificates to Councillor LaPlante. So as you're called, please come up.
Yeah, I would really to see some people that you were in an organizing group with that right there. That was something. All right. First, Leda Main.
Sorry, they're not all turned the same
Oh,
way.
it's okay. I can adjust.
Do I shake anyone else's?
Monica Sim. I'll just hand it to her. Jaylene Picardo. Next is Hyren Perez. Celia Negron. Skylar Cruz. Yeah, looking like a movie star. Like from the 50s. Noelia Castillo. Oh, dang, Noelia. What do we do to you? I know. No, it's too late now. There's no coming back from that. Jonathan Jimenez.
Congrats.
Danielle Carrero. I give you dabs all the time while you're trying to switch it up on me. You don't have to, you don't have to change, man. You don't have to dab. James Mora. Michelle Colado. Oh man, Shakira, I never pronounced your last name before. Asuncion, Shakira Asuncion. I just realized that. I always read it, but I didn't say it out loud, Dion Lightfoot Taylor. Daniela Karen Santos.
Okay.
All right. Celeste Cruz.
Is that it?
Yeah, it's macabre, so I'm gonna. And the rest aren't here, but Makai's downstairs working, so Makai Mendoza! Thank you very much, sir. I appreciate that.
Thank you, Councilor LaPlante. That's you.
It's me?
Yep.
All right, cool. So I'm gonna close out real quick. Yeah, yo, come here. Let's do. Yeah. Bro, dog. Wilfred Acosta, unofficially, but still. I can see how it would give that vibe off, though. All right, so I'm sitting in this chair because I'm gonna tell a story. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna tell. It looks like it, though. No speech. So I wanna leave you all with a couple words. I don't think I talk too much because y'all do your thing at the meetings, and I kind of come in here and there. And I don't often share my gratitude to be able to work with you all. Now, I don't want, like, I get, people talk about the work that Elevate Thought and the Mayor's Health Task Force and Lawrence Youth Council do, but honestly, and this isn't like false humility or pretension, but I really don't think it's about like the work I do. I think you all in the power of the youth are so incredibly equipped to do this work, regardless of where you're from, what school you go, what grades you get, that your talent and your passion and your ability just make like Elevate Thought and LYC look good. You know what I mean? So I don't think it's much to do with me, more so than it is to do with giving a space and allowing you to do what you do. And maybe here and there give you some advice and feedback. But you all are incredible. You're powerful. You have a vision, and you're doing things that not a lot of cities and towns are doing. And I don't think right now your peers fully understand what's going on. I know some of them who are connected to the group, some of them who you talk with, some of them that go to the events, and some of the youth like Enrique who've been around for a while, they get it to a certain degree, but you all are doing critical work for a city that's on the cusp of great change. You feel me? And that's just not pretend. Like, there's a lot of hope that we're starting to see. I use this word all the time. Celeste knows it's like tangible hope that you can see, feel, touch, hear, and be a part of. And the youth are a driving factor of that continued change and that continued hope. And so I'm grateful to be working with all of you. And I hope I can give you as much as you give me, for real. So let's keep it going. This is only a start, so don't get gassed up by this event. It's only November, so chill. All right, I better see all y'all at the meeting next week. All right. So yeah, so that's cool. Jordan, thank you, people. Thank you, everybody.